Good evening. I'm back. Sorry for a little bit of a late start, but I had to go rescue a friend tonight. But we're gonna pick right up from where we left off. Hey there, DOS Nerd. Gonna pick up from where we left off, but first, I'm going to drink one of the questionable sodas I have. But I wanted to pick one that was weird, but that I might still enjoy, because it was kind of a rough night. So, I'm actually going to be drinking Batch Craft Soda Snozberry flavored. I'm sure it tastes like snozberries, but I have no idea what the hell a snozberry is. So, oops. There we go. Let's crack this open. Answer's fuzzy. Try again later. It's kind of an ongoing issue. I just basically had to help out briefly, but yeah, can't really go into a lot of detail, but suffice to say, not a medical emergency right now. Let's see here. It smells familiar somehow. Interesting. I'm gonna say it's kind of a mixture of like raspberry and maybe strawberry. Yeah. Which, I mean, if you go ahead and take strawberry and raspberry, you get close to snozberry. I don't know where the N comes from, but it's not bad. As it says on the label, it's snozzy. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. So there we go. That's one interesting flavor. But, alright, so let's see if we can finish this tonight. You know, last night I was talking about how I could save state, but I forgot that I could also just, oh, come on. I forgot I could also just suspend the PS TV. So I fired it up this evening, and I didn't even have to load the save state. It just went right into the game. So that's handy. There you go. Uh-oh. Looks like it's poem time. So, I actually chose a poem specifically for this.
Internal rhyme. Metaphor.
Because I had actually read part 1 of it last night. So last night I read one of my poems that basically was about a husband and wife on a dying planet watching, like, what would have been a sunrise, but the sun had gone out. So this one is one that I wrote
Click the question marks
a
on the
while
lights
later.
to hear definitions of the terms.
Yeah, I know. I wrote this a while later. I never intended to write a sequel, as it were, but this just came to mind. Stories are told older than old of the flame which once burnt in the sky. Night folk are we, in darkness we see all that we need to survive. Some strangers have come to our permanent glum, proposing to relight our sun. But we've come so far without a warm star, we prefer they turn round and run. The tales are true, these people aren't new to this forsaken rock of home. We have no appeal, outmatched in this ordeal. The sun relights atop heaven's dome. For all of our labors, we now have new neighbors to share our newly lit land. It won't be easy. The light makes us queasy, but they're willing to give us a hand. Yeah, I kind of have to. And even then, she spoke up while I was reading, so... Alright, so now I can go out and get points for reading my poem.
I'm glad you're enjoying the poetry. Take your
I'm
time
glad you're
and
enjoying
read
the
as much
poetry.
as you want.
Okay, so we go out. Man, if I knew that that was what was waiting for me, I would have done that last night. Aiming slightly upward seems to be helping. There we go.
Why would someone have a green thumb? I know. I bet he's a painter. Let's read the poem to find out.
No, that doesn't mean he's a painter. Highlight the lines that end in imperfect rhymes with green. I wouldn't say mean is an imperfect rhyme. Dream is. Beans, I'll let that pass.
Oops, you missed
Nope.
that one. Try.
Well, let's put beans in there. Oh wait, that's right, I was gonna check the help thing. Sure, no problem.
There are many kinds of rhyme. One kind is imperfect rhyme, which occurs when two or more words have similar sounds but aren't perfectly rhymed. Assonance and consonants are types of imperfect rhyme. Examples of imperfect rhyme are lazily and leafy, and seize.
Okay. So yeah, beans probably isn't. Is
There are
probably
many-
imperfect. Yep. Okay, there we go.
Why would someone have a green thumb? I
Yeah,
know.
we already
I
did
bet he's
that.
a painter. Let's read the poem
Green
to find
and
out.
dream are an example of, well, an imperfect rhyme. Not consonants, because it's not dealing with consonants. Internal rhyme?
Internal rhyme.
Oh, I was hoping they'd tell me what that meant. Well, let's... Oh, can't go for the help yet. Alright, we'll say imperfect. Okay, good. The words green, grass, and grimy are examples of nope, not onomatopoeia, alliteration. I just like saying onomatopoeia.
I've observed snails very much like...
Okay, highlight all the lines that contain alliteration. Oh, geez. Alright, spiraling shells. Come on. Slippery, sliding, slinking, spiraling shells. House and home.
Oops,
Dang
you
it.
missed that one. Try.
I guess seedlings and sown? Ah, get over there. And then that would be Yeah, let's try that. Mwah.
Tough tailspin. You have to start this key up.
Yeah, I know. It's a little tough knowing exactly what they want out of me
I
here.
wonder what an anteater might sing about.
Oh, okay. Ants for dinner are so delicious. Ants for lunch are so nutritious. Cook them plain or cook them fancy, just as long as they are antsy. Fiber-filled and fat-free too, with vitamins X and W. Discovered just the other day, they put an end to claw decay. Ants cure sore tongue and snout disease and are very low in calories. They're good for bristly spines and fur. For natural foods are healthier, they're iron-rich and protein-high. A gourmet dish you have to try. They're sold in cans, so buy a few, for chances are you'll love them too. Not gonna lie, my mom has actually eaten chocolate-covered ants before. I've never had the opportunity, nor would I care to. Okay. Which line contains alliteration? Oh, that's definitely fiber-filled and fat-free too. The author rhymes the word delicious with which word? I think it's nutritious. Yep. Because the author isn't an idiot. Which of the following lines uses repetition? I'm going to say cook them plain or cook them fancy. Yay!
The job of the worker bee is...
Which line contains alliteration? Well, that's easily. Yeah. Growing grubs.
A fly and a flea can be a nuisance.
Highlight the words that rhyme in stanza 4. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Mutter, butter, flutter. Boomerang, toomerang, zoomerang. Which of these phrases from the poem is an example of assonance? I'm going to say indeed a flea. Aha! So that's the opposite of consonance. Cool. Which phrase from the poem contains alliteration? Fleet-footed flea. Woohoo!
Some of this stuff is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Not as tough as you are.
Aw, thanks. Oh, jeez. You're a peach. Oh, I like that they had the little thing in the foreground there. You know, they always cut off that epic music. It's kind of a shame. I wish I thought that this game would be the type to tell me how many of those I zapped by the end of it. Probably not. Select the words that share assonance with the word slow. Okay, well, home is one. Slope is another. Boat and float. So we'll go to float first. Not moon. Not relay. Ah, dang it. Oh, they dumped me way over there? Weird. Soak. Oh, dang it. I was about to win.
Soak.
There we go. Select the words that share consonants with the word cat. Yay, cat. Alright, so we'll have... Get out of my way. No! I want to click the boot! I'm gonna shoot the hell out of you guys. Rot. I'm glad I'm quick on that mute button. Trait. Create. And fight. There we go. What was that? Hold on for a sec. I heard a pop and then Siren looked confused, so I wasn't sure if there was something weird going on, but now she seems to have recovered. Okay. Select words that create alliteration with the word raspberries. Okay. Rung. Wrong would probably work. Yeah, because it's all about the sound. Rap will do it as soon as this runs out of ammo. Good, at least I got one of them. Rap. Right. I wouldn't say arrow. And the other rap.
What a great success!
Thank you. Alright. Time to go zappy zappy. Dang it! Ah, stop it! There we go. Hi, Siren. I'll pet you in a moment. Hi, kitty. Lap time.
I don't think I've ever known a person who didn't at one time or another like to play in rain puddles. It's so much fun to splish.
Which word does the author of Puddles After Rain repeat to emphasize that someone is playing in puddles? I'm going to say stamp. Oh, and it highlighted all three, so I kind of have... Yeah, I kind of figured that was it. Highlight the alliteration that describes the bubbles. I'm guessing it's funny flip-flops, but... Oh yeah, that's the only thing it could be. Whoops. There we go. I'd almost prefer it not be snapping to stuff and just freely moving around. Highlight the words that create alliteration with the word silly. Stamp, 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 squishy, squishy.
Give it another try.
Wow. Fudge brownies. What did I miss? Oh, sound. Okay. Hey there, Forte. Which phrase is an example of onomatopoeia? Oh, that's easy. Squishy squishy.
Is there something that you hate and love at the same time?
Okay, new poem. Let's go ahead and read it. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. My turn at bat. I'm paralyzed, like I'm a mouse and the pitcher's a cat. The first pitch is low and fast. I swing. Bat hits air. The second pitch is high and inside. I swing. Ball's not there. Third pitch, crack. Bat eats ball. I run base to base. I slide. I'm home. I'm safe. The cat didn't win this one. Okay, so highlight the line that contains onomatopoeia. So that would be crack. And yeah, that's about it. Just crack. Don't do drugs, kids. Which of the following words from the poem is an example of onomatopoeia? They just asked me that. Highlight the lines that end in imperfect rhyme. Oh, this again. Oh, this is a new poem again, too. Okay. My tail had curly feathers, my legs were short and strong, and I thought I'd live forever. What could possibly go wrong? I was the size of a turkey with wings too small to fly, but you will never see me no matter how hard you try. Now please don't cry and don't feel sad. I just want you to think. You see, I was a dodo bird and my species is extinct. Okay, so think and extinct are in perfect rhymes. What else do we have? Fly and try is fine. Turkey and me are fine. Strong and wrong are fine. I'm kind of thinking feathers and forever are an imperfect rhyme too.
Oops.
No?
You missed that one. Try
I'm gonna take these out and just go with the other ones. Yay! Woohoo! Oh, tonight's drink is snozberry flavored soda. It definitely tastes like snozberries.
We are so close. The batter is going to be sad to see all the work that you've done. You've unlocked all of the kiosks in the train.
There's
the ice caves and underwater.
Oh, okay.
Tasmanians, thank you for all of your hard work.
There's a flavor and aroma to this that I'm just... I recognize, but I can't place. Ah, it's irritating. It's tasty, though. Alright, through the door. On to the next area. Mount Lava, under the volcano.
that foreboding factory has got to be here.
Entering a pipeline of oceanic pestilence.
Good point. Can you spot a way into Mount Lava? Careful. This could be another of Devada's tyrannical traps. Which staircase?
The one less traveled, no doubt.
Woo woo!
Woo woo!
Now let's stay together. Who knows what danger lies ahead?
Probably a couple more kiosks.
Look at all these old kiosks. There are still some good ones.
Let's open them.
Alright. Let's go with that one. Ah! Get him! Get him! Ah! There we go. Oh, and I was just looking up a new poem to read, too. So, we're supposed to read one of the poems they have in the game, but because I've got some poetry that I've written a long time ago, I've been reading some of my poems instead. So I've picked another one here. Born of the sky will it end. This falcon my wing, my solace, my friend. From the time of egg and babe, the two of us were bound, sent to join the skyborn, never to touch the ground. We pity yet hold in high regard those who tend the nest.
On the
Life of the tree, the branch, the leaf, source of all which we're blessed. Our flock is our community, where we laugh and sing and love. It has been my life, my strength. I'll miss them when I pass above. Born of the sky, in the sky it now ends, we fly our final day. May the clouds bear our soul to the skies beyond, where both our ancestors lay. Sorry, I forgot to mute the narrator that time. I spin the world, I park with you, I guess.
Poetry inspires the mind.
Yep. Alright, on to the next kiosk. And zap. Zappy zap! Come on. Get him. Oh. There's a cat climbing into a cardboard box elsewhere. That's what I was hearing just now.
The bus in this point.
Okay, which of the following images describes the smog the bus creates in the poem? Okay. Fowls behind, I think. I need to look at the poem again. Okay. They don't outright say it's because of the exhaust, but fowls behind is probably that. To which does the narrator compare the bus in the poem? Hey there, Infamous. Welcome, welcome. An animal.
Personally, I like to hide under the covers.
Highlights the
during a storm.
line that shows personification. Okay. Let's see. Maybe thunder grumbling? I wouldn't necessarily say crashing. Yeah. Yep, that was it. Yay! I'm drinking the Snozberry soda there, Infamous. Okay. Highlight the simile. Oh, I can never get similes and metaphors straight. I think it's the one where it actually says it's like. Yeah. Or as something as. The way the storm makes the narrator feel is compared to what in the poem? A roller coaster.
The winter wind in this...
For which of the following is the lion being used? The wind. They taste exactly like snozberries. It's uncanny. Mostly because it's in a bottle. I don't apologize for my puns. Which image best shows that the wind enjoys his power? Howls with glee. Wait, 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 wait. Give me them tasty points.
Debata will have no choice but to abandon his malicious plan.
Well, I certainly hope so. Wow, total Kaz points, 295,800. Nice! Whoops. Yeah, this is... We're almost done. Ooh, that's not fun. One more day and then you get to take some time off. Nice rest on Wednesday there. Although it's supposed to, we're supposed to have some snow tomorrow, I guess. Oh, only one more kiosk here. Okay. There we go. It's not the one I thought I was going to shoot. There we go. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really pay too close of attention to the forecast. I just saw that it was supposed to snow tomorrow.
Courageous men.
Oh, another one of these, huh?
Happy!
Debata!
Exuberant.
I think we've only done one of Octavio so far, so let's do... Athletic. No, let's do awesomely athletic, that's fine. Drenched dreads, hat full of fishing flies. Now let's stick with the headband. I like the surfboard. Hang loose, dude. No, let's do hang loose. Wetsuit, fishing vest. Yeah, we'll stick with the theme. Sporting a handy headband, his super surfboard standing tall, he happily signals "hang loose" while wearing his warm wetsuit.
I love the
Rest
images
well.
you came up with. Good job, Master Poet.
Master Poet. By the way, those of you who may not have noticed on Twitter, next week Infamous GM1 will be joining me for another co-stream. Next Tuesday we'll be playing Toe Jam and Earl 3 Mission to Earth, and Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove. So that should be fun. It'll be the first time I fire up my Xbox in a while. I think this is the last room. Wow. They really do a pretty good job of the graphics in these games. Like, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels like it's definitely aimed for kids, but it doesn't feel like they use that as an excuse to be, you know, be crappy about it. Not like some of the stuff that Cadicarus has gone over. Like Dalmatians 3 and Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys. Oh, another poem. This one's going to be short, but it's one I wrote about my birthday, actually. Born midway through 724, seated on cloud 79, I'd love 7 to hold coins of 24-karat gold to make life 24/7 just fine. Wow, the narrator didn't even have a chance to interrupt me on that
Once we
one.
solve the Bada's debacle, I too am going to sit and read a few poems.
Well, I hope you enjoy it, Octavio. Let's see. Okay, what do we got? This one's still locked. Okay. Oh good, I'm glad I hit something with that. Stop moving! There we go. Boom! Oh no, one of these again. Okay, let's pick the umbrella. All above and all around. Dripping drops, or nope, not drips. There we go. Dripping drops. Gently they don't have soak? Gently wet. The I'm sorry. I gotta go with what my brain just did. Oh, come on. Can't get them all on one line. Plop, 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 plop. Plopping, plopping, plops. I don't know. Okay, so those won't fit. Okay. Then let's do this. Whoops. Yes. There we go. There's my magnum opus. All above and all around, dripping drops gently wet the ground. Plop, 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 plopping. Ah! Cats! Hey, I'm here to have fun.
See how powerful words can be?
Yep. Okay. Let's turn around. This looks like it's the last one. I wonder if we'll have to do some sort of boss fight, or if it's just going to give us a cutscene with us confronting Debata.
Let me out.
Highlight the smileys. It buzzes like a bumblebee, it tickles like a fuzzy chick, and bounces like a pogo stick. It gurgles like a water spout. Come on, there we go. Stop it. And thumpy like a frisky bunny, and jumpy like a kangaroo. There's lots of smileys in that one.
Cold observation.
Okay. Highlight the lines that are examples of personification. Hey there, Plague Doctor. Welcome. They run a fever. I hear them sneezing. There we go. Welcome, welcome. We're almost done with this game. In the poem, the phrase, "the trees catch cold," is an example of personification. I'm doing okay. I'm drinking snozberry soda.
But the
got a little bit of a late start because of some stuff I had to help out with, but otherwise, I'm enjoying myself on the stream. Okay. Highlight the simile that describes trees. Like the freeway behind my house.
Oops, you missed that one.
Was there another one? Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep, there was another one. Oh, yeah. Fine. I really wish they would tell me what the right answer was. That's one real strike against this educational software. In the poem, the author uses a simile to compare the trees to which objects in the city? Towering buildings. Choose the simile from the poem that describes the squirrel's actions. I think it was the jaywalker thing, but let's take a look at the poem again. Yep. Bling.
I've heard of the man.
Which image best shows that the man is quietly searching the narrator's room? Peeking and poking. That's just basic programming. Woohoo! Give me them points.
Fantastic work. You are one smart.
Whoops. 336,500 total. And I think, yep. We've unlocked every kiosk. Let's go confront Debata. The evil mastermind behind an unlocked wooden door.
This is it. The Debata's insidious Incubator Factory.
Man.
You're too late. I've prepared a surprise just for you.
Mondo Incurators. Uh-oh.
A real metal monster. Oh no!
Your machinations are feeble.
What? You are nothing.
Every time you steal a word, we create a new story, or song, or poem. You cannot destroy our words.
Why are you moving like you're
Dream
like you have legs?
I am king of all Tasmania.
to create is more powerful than to destroy.
No picky-unish piece of metal is going to defeat us.
Picayunish piece of metal. Nice.
No.
Mem is a fan of alliteration.
That dastardly dictator has disappeared.
Boink, 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 boink.
Let's get out of here. Mount Lava's gonna blow.
Gee, we're inside a volcano. What did you think was going to happen?
Now, a delightful deluge.
Oh, Tasmania! Fear and evil walked our streets. Curtains closed. We sat in dark rooms, silent. We were without word, silent. We were alone, separate without word. Now we rejoice. Our streets and skies, once gray, filled with the shape and sound and color of words. Our voices, once silent, sing the sound of words.
Words, ladies and gentlemen. Words. Speaking of words, I never got a password.
Use this password or enter a different
Okay.
one to begin play.
Interesting. So I have no idea where I should have gotten that, but maybe I can enter that into the next game if I ever find it. So there we go. That is Casmania. Chaos in Casmania. It's actually disc 2 of, I'm guessing, the Casmania series. I do not have disc 1. So, let's see here. Okay, that one, I only have the one. So I won't feel too bad just doing that tonight. Because I do have more of a specific series. Maybe I should complete that particular series if I can. Sometimes I can find these on eBay. I was able to complete a couple of collections that way. But, okay, so gonna duck out of this. And load up the content. And there it is. It's the first one. Awesome. So this is Calamity, the Natural World. It is another reading and language arts disc, which is going to be this month's theme. And don't worry about that burbling, it catches up. Boom. Okay, that was a little excessive. Okay, I'm going to do this for a quick moment. Just to give it a little bit more time. Okay. Now can we resume? Okay, scanning a file finished. Perfect. There we go. We got live action stuff again. Oh, is she gonna cut a bitch? Oh, no. She's gonna cut a package. That's a cool prop.
First, it's underwater ships, 20,000 leagues under the sea, and now... Well, I'll be.
Bonjour, Calamity. I see you have received my latest invention. C'est magnifique, n'est-ce pas?
Jules, what in tarnation? How'd you get in that little window?
So, you like riding for the Pony Express, eh? You ready for another kind of ride?
Oh, yeah.
Through time, perhaps?
I mean, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised that this isn't put out by PBS. Because it is high quality. Like, it rivals some of the stuff I watched on PBS when I was a kid.
Jules? Where'd you go?
Know who I'm doing my social studies report on?
Frankenstein, the Abominable Snowman.
Funny
Jules, how's this thing work? Oh!
I mean, that prop alone. That prop is amazing.
I'm doing it on Calamity Jane. She rode for the Pony Express, right here.
Well, shut my mouth. This darn thing really works.
What happened? Where are we?
It's mighty rude to bust into a lady's barn wearing nothing but your long johns.
This looks like some kind of cowboy movie set.
Who are you?
Martha Jane Canary.
You're the real Calamity Jane?
You bet your boots I am.
Loki, it's really her. Calamity Jane.
Cool. We've been transported to the past.
Cool! Are you crazy? We've got the playoffs in an hour. We've got to get home.
Yes, but you've traveled through time.
I wanted to get to the field early.
It's nice meeting you, since I'm doing a paper on you and all. But we've really got to go home now.
I'd like to oblige, but I don't know how this thing works. Jules said we gotta read some articles and play some games to fire up this here time machine.
Hey, Mona, this looks like some kind of old-time computer.
Jules is hiding here in this little winder.
Let's try and start it up.
Look at here.
And like Calamity Jane is, you know, she's exaggerative,
Do you want to play a new game?
but still not
we start?
bad.
New game.
And the kids are pretty good for, you know, at their acting there. Okay, looks like we got 4 regions here. Let's start with the forest.
These are 4 très intéressant articles. Select one.
All right.
Alors, mon ami, listen carefully. Now, at the top left, there's a score counter. Under that, there are 5 buttons that will help you explore the article. Now, clicking the first button takes you directly to the article. And the other 4 enable you to choose video, audio, photos, and writings relevant to the article. Now, the last set of buttons lets you see a map of articles, click OK, go back, or quit. Amuse-toi.
Lord of the Forest by Sneed B. Collard III. Imagine that you are walking through a forest. As you look up, you realize you're face to face with a real giant. Read to find out about who this giant really is.
To win, you have to play all 3 of these games. Word, strategy, and clue. Now keep trying until you win. Don't give up. Vive le jeu!
I've just seen a giant, but this... Oh, good. This cursor moves freely. All right. But this giant wasn't like the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk. It was better. It was real. The giant I saw was a kauri pine tree. It lives in the middle of a forest at the top of New Zealand. When I first saw this giant, I gasped. It was the most marvelous tree I'd ever seen. Let's see what clicking on gasp does. Oh, okay, it just gives you the definition. Okay. The tree was so small, or so tall, I had to bend my head way back to see its top. Its trunk was so wide that it would have taken a basketball team holding hands to reach around it. This tree was so special it even had a name. Tane Mahuta. I'm actually going to listen to...
Tane Mahuta.
Hey, I got that right.
Tane Mahuta.
Tane Mahuta is a Maori phrase that means Lord of the Forest. Tane Mahuta stood high above the rest of the trees in the forest. Its branches spread like immense arms to catch the sun. Tane Mahuta's branches provided homes to dozens of plants called epiphytes. Epiphytes are plants that live on other plants. Ferns, orchids, and shrubs are epiphytes that make their homes in kauri trees. Tane Mahuta's branches were filled with epiphytes, but its trunk was smooth and clean. That's because kauri trees shed their bark. If they didn't do this, other trees, such as climbing figs, would strangle the young kauris and prevent them from growing. Kauri trees like Tane Mahuta used to cover 550,000 acres of northern New Zealand. Scientists estimate that some of these trees were over 2,000 years old. When Europeans began visiting New Zealand in the late 1700s, they quickly saw that the kauri was a great source of timber. The tree's long, even trunk proved ideal for ships' masts, and the wood's soft, even-grained texture made it easy to cut and shape. Over the next 100 years, kauris were cut at a furious pace. Trees larger than Tane Mahuta were cut during the logging. One tree named Kairaru was over 60 feet around. In the 1900s, New Zealanders began to care about the kauris. Environmentalists worked hard to stop the logging, and they managed to preserve 19,000 of the original 550,000 acres of ancient kauri trees. Today, Tane Mahuta is the largest living kauri tree. More important than its size or beauty, Tane Mahuta symbolizes the importance of forests to all life, including humans. Forests provide homes for countless species of plants and animals. They also absorb carbon dioxide and help keep the Earth's atmosphere from overheating. They give us oxygen to breathe. After spending time with Tani Mahuta, I decided to help preserve the forests of the world. I'd certainly rather live in a world with giants like these than in a world without them. Okay. What do we got for word?
The word game is très joli. Listen to la conversation de mes amis. Click one of them to begin. Then select the sentence that uses the conversation word correctly. Next, click OK.
All right. The riders were stopped by an immense wall. This tiny model of the sailing ship is an immense copy. Nope. I've had measles, so I'm probably immense to having them again. Nope, it's got to be this one. Boing!
The riders were stopped by an immense rock.
You're moving right along. Keep it up.
Yay! Oh yeah. I've learned stuff from these games. And I'm probably like 30 years too old for them.
To win the strategy game, read the question and click the hint button. Then, if you need to, reread the article. Select an answer, then click OK. Bonne chance!
Which statement from the article is an opinion and not fact? It was the most marvelous tree I'd ever seen.
All right, you made it.
Yay! Oops. Clue time.
You're going to love this clue game, mon ami.
Oh, I am I?
Select the riddle that goes with the article, then click OK.
Willow and birch thickly grown serve to make a beaver home. I've just seen a giant. But this giant wasn't like the giant Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, what did... Oh, okay. I'm gonna say this one probably matches the best. Ancient pine reaching high above the forest toward the sky.
Terrific! You got it!
Terrific! Alright, so I got all three. Oh, this shows me the entire article again. Okay. Okay. So, let's go back. Bruh. I did each of those. Okay, there we go. So now I move on to the next article. Got it.
The Diving Lumberjack by Jan. Have you ever watched an animal in nature? Did it notice you? In this article, two lucky brothers spot a busy beaver.
I didn't look at the video in the last one. Oh man, I gotta go back to the other one and take a look at the video to see if there's a picture, like a video of this thing. Okay, before I get any farther into this here, I want to see if there's a video we can see of that tree, because it does sound pretty damn majestic.
By Sneed.
Okay, Maori dancers. Cool. Didn't really have much to do with the tree. Oh well. Still neat. Like I said last night, I love cultural stuff.
The diving lumberjack.
One of my favorite games recently was this one called Never Alone. It's a platformer that's based on Inupiat folklore. And it's actually like narrated in Inupiat with English subtitles. And then they've got like videos you can unlock of them talking about life in their village, and it's so cool. You can usually pick it up for like $3 on Steam or PlayStation Network. And the game itself is beautiful and really fun to play. Not a lot of replay value, but it's still pretty fun. Can't recommend it enough. My brother and I were hiking along a clear, quiet stream when I saw the beaver. It was waddling near the stream between the thickets of willow and birch trees. Because its sleek, dark brown fur blended into the shadows under the dense brush, it would have been hard for us to watch its progress if it hadn't strolled so slowly. The beaver didn't seem to know we were near, so we sat down quietly on a grassy place to watch it. Beavers usually leave their mud and stick lodges only at night. We were lucky to see one going about its work. As we looked, it reared up on its webbed hind feet using its tail for balance. This beaver was probably a very old one, maybe 10 or 12 years old. It stood more than 2 feet tall and must have weighed at least 70 pounds. Beavers are unusual rodents because they never stop growing. The largest beaver I had ever heard of was caught by a trapper in Wisconsin in 1921 and weighed 110 pounds? Holy crap! Wisconsin represent, by the way. While the beaver stood, it seemed to be inspecting a slender birch tree. Suddenly it seized the tree trunk with its teeth. It twisted its head back and forth until it had wrenched out a piece of wood. Then with a jerk, it tore out a chunk about 3 inches lower on the tree. Using its strong jaw, the beaver continued to gnaw until it pulled out a bigger hunk of wood from between the first 2 notches. It worked its way around the trunk, gnawing out slivers of wood that fell to the ground at its feet. When the beaver was done, the birch fell toward the stream. The tree landed with a splash in the stream. I wondered how it had been able to make the birch fall just where it wanted. The beaver slipped into the river and swam alongside the 5-foot birch as it floated downstream. Then the beaver disappeared beneath the water, and soon the tree disappeared too. What had happened? It was twilight, and I strained my eyes to see in the distance. I could barely make out a rounded beaver lodge at the stream's edge. The beaver was probably slipping its birch tree into the mud outside the submerged lodge door. Beavers usually keep a supply of logs handy near the lodge and chew the bark during the winter months. They can cut wood just as easily below water as above it. Perhaps the old beaver had a large and hungry family inside its lodge. Beavers give birth to their young in the spring. The young ones may live with their parents for 2 years before setting off on their own. Darkness was quickly closing in, so my brother and I stood up stiffly to head back to our camp. We heard a loud kersplash as the beaver slapped its tail on the water. It had finally spotted us and was sounding an alarm. I was glad it had been too busy to notice us any sooner. Something is wrenched with the stereo set. I would probably say that. The student wrenched with a problem until the answer was found. And the diver wrenched the rusty treasure chest open. You know what? Any one of these could work like as slang, but that's the one that they're probably getting at.
The diver wrenched the rusty treasure.
Nice going.
Thank you. How does the beaver sound an alarm? It slaps its tail on the water.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
And clue.
This is the analogy clue game. Now select which analogy or comparison fits this article, then click OK. A plus tard.
Okay. Carpenter is to house as beaver is to tree. I wouldn't quite say that. Carpenters build houses, beavers tear trees down. Hi, Terry. How? Carpenter is to house as beaver is to lodge. Makes more sense. Beaver is to stream. Fish is to stream. What does a fish have to do with this? No, carpenter is to house as beaver is to lodge.
Super job.
Super job! Alright, back to the map. Okay. Next one down.
Terror in the Woods by William L.
If you think you get hungry for lunch, wait until you read how hungry the Wolverine gets.
Wolverines! No video. Raw deal. Do we at least get a picture? Oh, it's just the drawing that was behind it. Alright, show us the article. Terry, you can come over here. Pound for pound, tooth for tooth, few animals can match the Wolverine for speed and strength. For its side, it's the most vicious animal in the world. But you might not think so by looking at one. The Wolverine resembles a small bear, but it's actually a member of the weasel family. Strangely enough, this terror of the woods rarely weighs more than 60 pounds. It is feared by most animals and usually will fight, win or lose, any animal it encounters. The Wolverine's jaws and teeth are very strong and can crush large bones and tear tough flesh. Its strong, sharp claws are dangerous weapons that it does not hesitate to use. What makes the Wolverine so ferocious? Its appetite. Like most members of the weasel family, mustelids, it is always hungry and must constantly search for food. And since it is such a skilled hunter, the Wolverine is rarely found in a starved condition. But often the animal is so hungry it will attack creatures that give it a bad case of indigestion, such as the porcupine. I once found a dead Wolverine that apparently had porcupine for lunch. Its head and the inside of its throat were riddled with quills. Ooh. Most of the time, the Wolverine is the winner. Usually it doesn't have to travel far for its meals either. Its favorite food-catching trick is to wait on a tree limb until its prey passes beneath. It then leaps down and rips the other animal's throat with its sharp fangs. Jeez. In winter, it chases its prey on top of the snow. The Wolverine has soft, wide footprints that serve it like snowshoes. Since deer, moose, and elk tire quickly and get bogged down deep in the snow, they become easy prey for the Wolverine. They go after elk? Jeez. Elk are nothing to mess with either. Snow does pose one problem for the Wolverine. It suffers from snow blindness. Trappers have reported seeing Wolverines on sunny winter days, shielding their eyes from the harmful rays of the sun with their paws. Actually, the Wolverine prefers hunting at night, and it usually avoids its own kind. Adult Wolverines generally live alone except for the brief mating period in the spring. The female will select her den in a heavy growth of evergreens, often under the shelter of an overhanging rock or sometimes at the base of a large hollow tree. Her 2 fluffy cubs are born in May or June. During the summer months, she alone teaches the cubs how to hunt. By fall, they are nearly grown and are able to obtain their own meals. As long as the female is around, she will not allow any animal to approach her young. She practices motherly love in every sense of the word. The female wolverine will attack anything and everything that threatens her cubs, including people, if she senses her young are in danger. Hunters harvest nearly 1,000 wolverine pelts each year. The pelts are very valuable because they have an unusual quality. It is the only fur that does not collect frost, even at 70 below zero. Huh. The Inuit have learned this, so they use wolverine fur to make parkas. Also, unlike other fur, wolverine fur will not freeze to the skin in sub-zero temperatures. The wolverine finds its fur very valuable too, especially since it lives in the cold regions of Alaska and northern Canada. A few can still be found in the California and the Rocky Mountain region of Montana. Although Michigan is called the Wolverine State, not a single wolverine has been sighted there for more than 100 years. Suck it, Michigan. But there is little danger that the wolverine will soon become extinct. Its skill at evading traps is legendary, and it usually is able to steal and eat the bait from the very traps set to catch it. Maybe you will never learn to love a wolverine, but you can remember for what it is. A furry ball of almost blind courage, and as Canadian trappers claim, an animal with the cunning of several people. That's kind of cool. Okay, the thief was bogged by the police officer. The catcher bogged the baseball to left field. Don't let the tire become bogged down in the mud. There we go.
Don't let the tire become bogged down in...
You're moving right along. Keep it up.
Moving right along. Alright, strategy. What is unique about the fur of the wolverine? Does not collect frost. I wonder what about it does that.
Nice going.
Okay. I'm tempted to go with this one. Dog is to terrier as weasel is to wolverine. Yeah.
You're moving right along.
Yay.
Keep it up.
Okay. One more in the forest treasures here.
The Life of an Oak by Anne Doro.
It's a home for birds, a hiding place for mice, and a bedroom for raccoons. Read this story to find out about the mighty oak's many unexpected uses.
Alright.
The Life
Whoops.
of an Oak.
There we go. Ah. Want to see the video. Birdie. So, you gonna buy? Okay, let's get this ready for scrolling. An oak tree stands tall in the forest. Songbird nests are hidden among its leaves. A mother deer and her fawn rest in its shade. The pattern of sunlight through the leaves matches the pattern on the baby deer's back. He is almost invisible. The leaves turn brown and fall to the ground. Songbirds fly away. An owl perches in the bare branches through chilly nights. Snow falls, covering the oak's dead leaves. A raccoon sleeps in a hollow part of the trunk. A mouse hides under a twisted root that is pushed up from the ground. Buds appear on the buds appear on the dry gray twigs and green leaves unfold. Songbirds return to nest again. Days are warm, then hot. Dark clouds form in the sky. Thunder rumbles and light flashes. A bolt of lightning strikes the tree. Now new birds don't form in the spring, and green leaves don't appear. Songbirds choose branches in other trees for nesting. A woodpecker digs for insects from beneath the oak's bark. A hawk perches at its top. An owl still looks down from its branches at night. The wind blows, the rain falls, the sun shines again. Still the tree stands. Nights are cold, then warm again as seasons pass. Wind, sun, rain, hail, and sleet all work on the old tree. At last it falls. The tree looks very dead indeed, but it's still useful. A skunk makes its den inside the hollow log. A snake raises its babies under the tree, catching mice that still hide there. Little white plants called fungi grow on the tree, feeding on the food stored in the wood. Moss grows on the trunk, and ferns push their roots down through its bark. Insects under the bark feed on the wood. The tree begins to crumble into fine particles that become part of the soil. In this way, the tree gives back what it has taken for so many years. It is still a part of the forest, though no one can see it now. It gives food to new seedlings. Some of them grow to become tall trees. They give nesting places to new songbirds and perches to owls and hawks. Their leaves shade new animals. Time moves on, and the old tree continues to nurture new life. Okay, at first it just seems like it was being a little too descriptive, but I see what they were doing, and it's kind of neat. The girl purchases food for her bird at the pet store. Okay, that one's kind of clever. Because I can see some kid going, "Oh, purchase!" and getting that wrong. The cat perches on the back of the chair to look outside. Hey, I had a cat perching on the back of my chair earlier. The yard monitor perches up baseballs left on the field. Nope, that's not it. Which sounds like pitches.
The cat perches on the back of the chair to look.
Terrific! You got it!
Terrific! Why didn't the oak form new buds in the spring? It was hit by a bolt of lightning. Now, to be fair, we had like a mutant apple tree out behind our house when I was growing up. It looked like it had been struck by a lightning bolt at one point. Like, it went maybe about 2 feet up and then went almost 45 degrees to the side.
Click the hint button
And
listen.
every year,
When you're ready,
it
select
had
your
so
answer,
many
then
crab apples
click
on it
OK.
that it, like, the branches were bowing under the number of apples that were on there. It was ridiculous.
You're moving right along. Keep it up.
It was fun to climb, too, because it was at such an angle.
Play? Here's how to play this clue game. Now look for the highlighted paragraph and decide which subtitle fits that paragraph. Then click OK.
Okay. The oak in winter. Yeah. Wait, what? Can you tell me what I'm supposed to do again? Unless I was just supposed to look for the highlighted one. Okay, let me take a look here. Okay, the same thing is highlighted. Okay. So it's just going to be the oak in winter.
You're moving right along. Keep it up.
Yay!
Admirable. You did a marvelous job in Forest Treasures.
Well, thank you. All right. Let's go on to polar regions.
Up to my neck in Antarctica.
Let's take a look at the video. That's it? Dang it. I was hoping for penguins or something. Stark snowy beauty. We arrive at Palmer Station in the late afternoon on a sunny November day. We've been on the Polar Duke, a 219-foot-long National Science Foundation ship, for 2 weeks. Palmer, our destination, is an American base on the Antarctic Peninsula. It will be our home for 2 months. The Antarctic Peninsula is a breeding area for many kinds of wildlife, from whales and seals to penguins and albatrosses. Palmer is a scientific laboratory. Scientists come here to do research in biology, oceanography, and other sciences. Austral summer, the summer of the southern hemisphere, is approaching. It's a time when the sun never sets and a peak time for animals to breed and raise their young. It's also Palmer's busiest time. The station is full, housing about 35 scientists and staff members. As a woman and non-scientist, I'm unusual here. My mission is to watch birds and other wildlife in order to write books for young people. On arrival, I get a room and am introduced to my roommate, a Polish woman scientist. A welcoming party is held and I meet everybody. Dinner is in a big dining room where all meals are shared. A large window looks out on Palmer's harbor, called Arthur Harbor. Through the window, I can see pieces of ice floating on a shimmery sea and the slopes of snow-patched islands rising out of the water in the distance. My first days at Palmer are spent learning how to operate zodiacs, the inflatable rubber boats used for travel across water. Propelled by outboard motors, zodiacs are safe and reliable for distances of 3 to 6 miles from base. No one goes in the boats alone, always in groups of 2 or more. We carry portable radios for contact with Palmer Station. In case of an emergency, we can call the station instantly. Safety is a #1 priority in the Antarctic. One place we may go alone is the top of the glacier behind Palmer. On a free afternoon, I decide to make the hike. Before exploring away from Palmer, I sign out using a blackboard on the dining room wall to write departure time and expected time of return. Someone will search for me if I am half an hour late getting back. Standard Palmer clothing is long underwear, blue jeans, flannel shirt, sweater, down vest, and parka. We all wear government-issue parkas, bright orange in color. Footgear is rubber boots with felt liners. 2 pairs of socks, 1 cotton, 1 wool, keep my feet warm. Flagged poles mark the trail up the glacier. In summer, the ice softens, becoming unstable. It is crucial to follow the marked trail and dangerous to stray from it. Staying between the poles, I reach the glacier summit. A mile below me, the sea glitters with light. Around me stretches an endless expanse of snow, ice, and Rocky Mountain peaks. I would love to see it. A snow petrel, all white but for black eyes, flows low over my head. Though reluctant to leave such a beautiful place, I turn slowly to head back down. Suddenly, the ice under me gives way, throwing me off balance. My arms fly up, my feet slide into a crack, an opening in the glacier. Falling into a chamber of blue ice faceted like a diamond, I have no time to wonder how far I will fall. Landing with a bump, my head hitting ice, I'm terrified, my heart hammering in my chest, my breath knocked away. Staying still for a moment to catch my breath, I feel for broken bones and find none. Beneath my boots, I see a complex pattern of jumbled, fractured ice. The colors blue, blue-green, black, and white. Luckily for me, I'm too wide to fit through the split, which continues at least 10 more feet under my boots. The view into the cut is stunning, but frightening. Up to my neck in the crack, it takes some time to elbow, push, and shove my way out. Once on the glacier surface, I remain on hands and knees, crawling all the way down, my heart a lump in my throat. There are more adventures at Palmer. One day, a leopard seal, fierce and hungry, takes a bite out of a Zodiac. No passengers are hurt. Zodiacs have compartments of air. Only the section with the bite hole in it collapses. Another day, a penguin snatches my wool cap when I lay it down. 3 days later, I find my cap in a stone nest covered with penguin droppings. On fine days, I spend solitary hours on islands off the coast watching penguins, skuas, terns, and cormorants, tending the young in their nests. I take food, water, radio, and writing materials. On stormy days, we stay in. We read books from Palmer's library or listen to music. I work on my writing or go to the labs to watch scientists at work, bent over microscopes, doing experiments with organisms in seawater. I talk to the scientists trying to learn what they are discovering. There are no telephones at Palmer, no newspapers. A radio brings news. We get daily weather and temperature reports from South Pole Station and other American bases in Antarctica. The crew at Faraday, an English base, calls from time to time. In such remote circumstances, it's fun to talk to other bases. Cruise ships with tourists aboard come into Arthur Harbor. Coming ashore in Zodiacs, the tourists get a tour of the station along with coffee and brownies. All too soon, my stay comes to an end. As the sun goes lower in the sky and darkness creeps over the ice, I make final visits to favorite islands. Migrating birds are leaving too. Few creatures stay around during winter. Standing on the deck of the Polar Duke, I hug my friend saying, "Goodbye for now. I know I'll see you again." And indeed, I hope this is true. That would be a cool thing to do at some point. The girl liked a shimmery cookie for dessert. It's hard to climb up a shimmery rope. Well, probably. The shimmery costume flashed under the spotlight. That's probably the right one.
The shimmery costume flashed under...
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I will. On to strategy. Which answer correctly orders the events from the article that Dewey experiences? Operates boat, falls into crevice, and loses cap, I think. Yep.
Nice going.
Alright. Clue. Okay, so this is another one where I have to find the highlighted one and select an appropriate title. Come on. Where is it? There we go. Okay. Diamonds in the ice would work. Antarctic travel. Well, sort of. Danger in the ice would probably fit more.
Great. You got it.
Great. Back to the map.
Eskimo Wintertime Fun by Max. If you thought that people can't have fun in winter, get ready to discover something new. Read all about what winter is like.
It's not just Eskimos that are good at having wintertime fun. And then they show an aurora? Okay, so the reason I'm having a problem with this is not because I have any problem with auroras, but because of Never Alone. where they talk about the they tell their children that auroras are children who have died, and they will come and try to snatch you up so they have someone to play with if you go outside and try to play at night. So it's designed to scare children into not wandering out at night. And then in the game, there are like auroras with faces and arms, and if they run into you, they will grab you and take you up off screen. So, no! Auroras aren't Eskimo wintertime fun at all! Right? Did you ever wonder what Eskimo children do for fun in the wintertime? Do you think it's so cold and dismal in the Northland that children stay indoors all winter and never come out? If you have these thoughts, you are very, very wrong. Wintertime for children in the Arctic is just as exciting as it is for you, but with a difference. It is much, much longer. Eskimo children go to school in the dark and come home in the dark. Hey, I had to do that when I was young too. But the glow before sunrise and after sunset lasts several hours. It is during this time and on weekends that the children play outside. Without a doubt, the favorite toy of the Eskimo children is the one-legged. It is a sled constructed of a barrel stave or a board turned up on one end like a ski. In the center of the ski is an upright piece. On top of this is a crossboard for a seat. Oh, okay, I can picture it now. They straddle the skis, sit down on the crossboard seat, grasping tightly with both hands to hold on, kick up their heels, and away they go. The one-legged is steered by leaning, and speed is varied by either dragging the feet or lifting them high. Balance is maintained by putting down one foot or the other. By sharp cutting, a spray of snow can be thrown up 3 or 4 feet high. Ice skating is a favorite activity, especially after a river overflow freezes. An overflow is caused when the ice freezes to the river bottom. The flowing water, no longer able to flow in the regular channel, backs up and flows out of a crack or crevice. When this freezes, it provides the smoothest ice skating possible. Sometimes during the long winter, the Eskimos yearn for fresh fish. When this happens, the children take a dok, an ice chipping tool, and start chipping a hole through the ice which is more than a meter thick. Will they pronounce that? No? Okay. This is long, hard work, but when the hole is finally completed, the water will rise to within several centimeters of the top. Once the ice chips are skimmed off the surface, fishing begins. Lingcod and trout are the prized catches. A favorite pastime for the children and adults is to make string figures. Figures range from the simple cup and saucer to the complex itakiyak, or Arctic tern. The children's fingers seem to fly through such figures as caribou, Eskimo house, blanket, and hunter. Some Eskimos know as many as 70 different string figures, and some figures require 2 people to complete. Eskimo children are like kids all over the world. If they don't have a game, they invent things to do. A piece of cardboard, a board, or a tree branch becomes a sled, and away they go, laughing all the way. Chase the Rabbit is another invented fun game that all enjoy when the Arctic hare ventures too close to the village. Because of the deep snow, children sometimes will get close to the rabbit. They never really catch him, but the chase, the running, tumbling, and laughing in the snow make it all worthwhile. Sometimes the Eskimo children make a homemade flashlight from a tin can and a candle and go out into the dark, cold winter night. They stand huddled together in the faint light and tell ghost stories. As the stories become scarier and scarier, the huddle gets smaller and smaller until only the bravest are left. Then they take their flashlight and hunt for rabbits in the willows. When the hare's eyes reflect the gentle light, the chase is on again. Wintertime is fun time for Eskimo children. It is good that it is, for winter lasts longer for them than for any other people in the world. Okay, the cat likes to stretch and yearn in the afternoon sun. Hey, you don't know that they don't. After working hard at school, students yearn for a vacation. That's probably the right one. The sailors saw the wide ocean yearn before them.
After working hard at school, students yearn for a vacation.
Terrific! You got it!
You got it! What is the main idea of this article? Eskimo children play in the winter. That they do.
You're moving right along. Keep it up.
And the clue? Let's see here. Okay, my guess would be this one. A narrow sled throwing snow, away the laughing children go.
Excellent. Keep up the good work.
Yay! Back to the map. 2 more to go. I think we'll finish this tonight, even if it takes me a little bit past 11 o'clock. I got a little bit of a late start tonight, but I'm also close to finishing this bit of it.
Imagine that you are in a place that is completely silent. Silence and other tricks
That would be
allow
nice.
polar bears to catch food, as you will soon find out.
As the heater kicks in. Aw, no video. That's a shame. The polar bear quietly watched the hole in the Arctic Ocean ice. He waited for the ringed seal to come up for air. Bubbles erupted from the icy water. The 1,000-pound polar bear pounced with the grace of a cat. But his timing was off. The seal escaped to the safety of the ocean. Roaring with disappointment, the polar bear smacked the water with his foot-wide paw. He lumbered away to find another seal hole. A seal swimming under the Arctic ice can detect vibrations from above. Noise warns it of a predator. Having made several holes, a seal will not use one that it senses as dangerous. Ringed seals are the polar bear's main food source. Without silent hunting techniques, the polar bear would not survive. When standing erect, an adult male polar bear could look an elephant in the eye. He's 5 feet high when standing on all fours. He's twice the size of a lion or tiger. The polar bear moves with lightning speed and can outrun a caribou over a short distance. Jeez. He has a highly developed sense of smell. He can catch a seal's scent from 20 miles away. His eyes, smaller than a human's, have binocular vision, enable him to judge depths as well as distances across the Arctic landscape. Thick hair covers the bottoms of his paws. This allows him to walk on snow-covered ice with barely a crunch. These characteristics combine to make the polar bear silent but deadly. He seldom misses his prey. The polar bear uses different methods to locate a seal's hole. His nose may direct him. He may stand erect to scan the snow for the small mound of ice that covers a seal hole. Sometimes he follows a lead, a small break in the ocean's ice covering. Often at the end of a lead, he will find an ice mound. After finding the ice mound, he scratches a hole in it, then uses the hole to spot air bubbles from a rising seal. While his white hair is perfect camouflage in the snow, the polar bear's black eyes and nose can betray him. So sometimes he uses his front paws to push up a small pile of snow in front of himself. This creates a snow blind that will conceal his eyes and nose from his prey. Preparations complete, he lies flat on the snow. He's patient and silent, moving only to raise his head and peek at the ice hole. He can wait this way for hours. Air bubbles appear in the ice hole. The rising seal will be wary of possible attack. The silent hunter controls himself. The ringed seal's head breaks the water's surface. In a well-timed leap, the polar bear is upon the seal, and with a powerful paw, he pulls the seal from the ice hole. Silence and patience have been rewarded, and have kept the polar bear from going hungry. The nurse will put camouflage on a rash to stop the itching. Yeah, well, you can't. If you can't see it, it doesn't itch. The campers paddled the camouflage down the river. Nope. Spots on lizard skin are good camouflage in the jungle. There you go. How does a seal swimming under the ice know when there is danger nearby? They can hear other animals.
Right on. I knew you could do it.
Whoops, I didn't actually click OK on the word thing. Hold on. There we go.
Spots on lizard skin are good camouflage.
Right on. I knew you could do it.
Thank you. Okay. Let's find the highlighted thing. Unless this is one that describes the entire article. Oh yeah, okay. Not much about fun chases in this. Or penguins. That one sounds about right. Yeah. In winter sun, the snow may blind for some great piles to hide behind.
Great. You got it.
Okay. One more to go. I'm glad I have throat lozenges handy.
Arctic fox.
Ooh, those are so
By
pretty.
George, you sport a thick fur coat and furry slippered feet. You scavenge for food like a vulture. Who are you? Read the article to discover more about this.
Ooh, good, there's a video. Please tell me it's the one where they, like, hop and, like, get stuck in the snow. What? I know where the North Pole is, you dolt. See, look at that face. Such a lovely creature. Okay. I saw an Arctic fox following a polar bear on the ice-covered ocean off the coast of Alaska. He was far away and I had to use binoculars to watch him. The fox seemed to be looking for scraps of seal meat, which are sometimes left behind after a polar bear's meal. The Arctic fox is a mammal of the far north. He trots along the seashore in winter, searching for food among the jumbled piles of ice. Once in a while, he finds a dead whale that is washed onto the icy beach. Sometimes he finds a dead fish or bird. All of these are food for the fox. Cold doesn't bother the little Arctic fox. His winter coat is very thick and warm. Even when the temperatures fall far below zero, he is well protected. When I saw the fox, I was on an icebreaker, traveling through the thick blanket of sea ice. Though the ship was moving slowly, I did not have a chance to watch the fox for very long. I was curious to see an Arctic fox more closely, so I later visited a zoo. In the zoo, I got a good look at an Arctic fox. He was fluffy and cute. I noticed that his ears were small. Short, thick ears do not freeze as easily as long, thin ears would in the Arctic cold. He has hair even on the bottom of the pads of his feet. That hair keeps his feet warm when he's walking on the ice and snow. When the snow melts in the spring, the Arctic fox no longer needs his heavy fur coat. He sheds much of his hair. New hair, but less of it, grows back in. During the spring, birds build nests on the ground, and the Arctic fox searches for their eggs and chicks. He even sometimes catches an adult bird. The fox and his mate also hunt lemmings, little mouse-like rodents, and hares. They take these home to their den and give them to their pups to eat. The warm summer is short. There's continuous daylight with no darkness. The baby birds, hares, and lemmings grow up quickly. They become more difficult to catch. Then the fox eats the berries that are now ripe. Snozberries? Maybe? Soon autumn returns. The Arctic fox again grows his thick fur coat. He will be warm as he searches for food in the early snowstorms. Winter in the Arctic is a long and difficult time. It is dark and very cold. When I walked in the Arctic in the winter, I often wondered how any animal could find enough food to eat. But in all that ice and snow, the Arctic fox is right at home. After the loud noise, 6 hares ran from the bush. That could be it. When the skunk is frightened, the hairs on its back stood up. Ah, clever, but wrong kind of hare. Same with the barber combed the hairs on the man's head. Ooh, this is a tricky one. I mean, not tricky for me, but tricky for kids.
After the loud noise, 6 hares ran.
Terrific! You got it!
At which time of year does the Arctic fox shed its fur? Ooh, was that spring or summer? Yeah, spring. Okay.
To answer this question, first look at...
Yeah, I know. Okay. I have to unclick article. Got it.
Super job!
Super job! Okay. No. No. Mouse is to cat as lemming is to Arctic fox. Okay, it's amusing that they use cat there, because I have a friend who describes foxes as cat firmware running on dog hardware. Mouse is to cat as lemming is to Arctic fox. That is correct.
You're moving right along. Keep it up.
Magnifique.
Magnifique.
You plowed through the polar regions.
Sure did. But I think I'm going to call it there for the night. We went through the forest, we went through the polar regions. We've got ocean and desert life to pick up on in 2 weeks. So tomorrow night will be free dive. I'll be playing the new PS Plus and Xbox Games with Gold freebies, but I'm also going to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. I'm also going to play the original Final Fantasy VII demo. I actually have that. So tomorrow night will be a mix of the freebies and Final Fantasy VII goodness. Next week will be kind of a mishmash. I wanted to do a couple of different things. Plus, Infamous is going to be around on Tuesday, so Antstream is going to get shifted to. I believe I was going to do that Sunday night. Monday night, I'm going to do Ace Combat 7 DLC and VR missions. And then Tuesday night will be Toe Jam and Earl 1, 3, and Back in the Groove with Infamous GM1. Then we'll come back to this on March 15th. We got 5 weeks this month, so we've got plenty of time. But thanks for being here tonight. I'm gonna go find someone to raid. Let's see who's streaming. Okay, you know what? I haven't rated Marin in I don't know how long. She's playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So we're going to raid You Got Marin. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Plague Doctor. Thanks for dropping in. And I hope to see you again tomorrow night for lots of interesting stuff. I try to keep my streams filled with interesting stuff. It's way too easy to do what everybody else is doing. It's more interesting to delve into all the weird shit that I've collected over the years.
Come on, select a game and let's get started.
Oops. Oops, I raided too quickly. Good night.